The Film Slice crew review Crazy Rich Asians.
Yes, we do, Angus.
Yep.
Hey team, Angus Draken here, and welcome to the Film Slice Podcast. I'm here, as always, with my co-host, Kane Diggly Wiggly Kane Dogs.
Hello.
And Bro Diddly Doo Broadman Richards.
Oyo.
And this
Angly,
week...
Wangly, Pangly, Wiggly, Angly, Anglers.
That's this guy. And this week, we're reviewing Crazy Rich Asians. Kane Dogs, you want to hit us up with that super IMDb summary?
The Super IMDb.
IMDb.
That's a different website.
This contemporary romantic comedy based on the global bestseller follows native New Yorker Rachel Chu to Singapore to meet her boyfriend's family.
Nice one. When did you see the movie? What did you think?
When did you see the movie? What did you think? Do you like the movie? No, the shit.
Who you asking?
Kane Dogs.
Alright. I saw the movie Thursday night.
Uh-huh.
No, Friday night.
That's one.
I'm mistaken. I saw it Friday night.
So Yep.
Yep, and I thought it was great.
How long has it
Loved
been
it.
out for?
Was
Was Thursday
was
night
it released on
came out
Thursday? I think it was
Thursday,
released on Thursday, yeah.
Yeah, cool. Broadman, when did you see the
Actually,
movie?
they're
What
not.
did you think?
I also saw it on Thursday. It was about 4 days ago. Saw it about the mid-afternoon. I thought it was pretty good. Pretty decent film.
Nice one. I saw it, 2-3 days ago now. 3 days ago, which would have been the Friday
Friday.
night, I think. And yeah, I thought it was also a good time to be had.
So
not my general cup of tea, and there are a few things that I didn't like in it, but overall it was a good, fun, happy flick.
I find romantic comedies always, generally speaking, follow the same mold, and I really like that this one actually went into the effort to tell a new story, or at least be creative in the way that they told the story.
I think we should all appreciate how I didn't make some sort of mold joke in the middle of Jordan's explanation.
Sort of what joke?
I would have enjoyed the
About
mold
mold.
joke.
No, it's weird that all these romantic comedies you see in Jordan are all following a type of fungus. That's an example of the type of joke I would have made.
I'm also happy you didn't make that joke.
Wait, say it again. I got one.
All of these romantic
Petri dish.
Oh no.
Sorry, please continue.
Anyway, there's
Pastry dish!
Les, you know how every week I put up on Instagram and not Twitter this week.
but today you've forgotten, so you did it an hour before we did this podcast because one of our
I
mates
did it.
reminded you to do it.
I did it 5 hours before, and I was drawing the picture before he sent the message.
I thought you were going to say, and I was drunk.
It was... Don't ask me how I got here. We put out on Instagram what movie we're reviewing, and we get our slicey slices
Yep.
to let us know if they've seen the movie and what they thought.
I'd like to say I also put it up on Facebook and got no comments, likes, or shares.
Oh, well,
That's
there
more
you
of
go.
a comment on...
Hard
when-
pass back to you there, Angus.
When did you put it out on Facebook?
Friday night.
Nice one.
Yeah, but we have...
That's more of a comment on you, yourself as a person, Jordan, rather than...
Guess how many people we got replying to us?
I'm going to say
Two.
just Nathan.
You're wrong,
Okay.
and just one.
How did we get that wrong?
This is from Sophie_clinic.
Oh, it's his wife. That's not fair. All right, go on.
She says, the film was entertaining. It was so aesthetically pleasing to the eye. It's easy to think it was a good film. The acting wasn't great from the main two characters, and there was so much left out in the book. Oh, is this a book?
Yes.
Yeah, based on the
It
book.
says based on the bestseller.
Oh, there you go. The cousin...
We didn't read the book. Just to let people know, we can't compare this to the book because we didn't read it.
No. We did, however, judge the book by its cover.
I
Oh,
also
I
judged the
judged-
movie. I judged the movie. I judged Angus by
I
his
judged
cover.
the book by the movie.
I'm judging Angus by the movie that I'm making.
Anyway, the cousins, Eddie and Astrid, are meant to be main characters too, but only were sort of touched on. If you haven't read the book, then obviously not a big deal, but kind of random that Astrid was focused on if you hadn't read it. I can see that. I get that.
Yeah.
Would have liked to see more tension and scenes with Rach and Eleanor, and more of a change development with Rach's character.
I'm having to
All she-
IMDb who was doing this.
Yeah. All she got was a makeover. It was still enjoyable, though. Not a classic. And I totally lied. We do have one more comment.
Well,
Before you move on to the next comment,
Yep.
shout out to Sophie Clinic for doing a better review than we've
Yeah.
ever done.
Than we've ever done.
She actually used character names, which is one thing
That's
we
pretty
don't do.
good. I
The
think I
only
remember
character we-
Rachel.
the only character we ever refer to is Dwayne Johnson in whatever he's
Yeah.
in, and he's just Dwayne Johnson.
I really liked him as The Rock.
I really
This
like
one?
him as
Oh, yeah,
I really
fair
like him
enough,
as Dwayne the Log.
I liked him
Johnson.
as the
That's a good
stuffed
callback.
tiger. I thought he was pretty good as the stuffed
We should have a Dwayne The Rock episode.
That'd be great. Yeah, shout out to Soph. Thanks, Soph.
Yeah, good on you, Sophie. We also got replying to Sophie, one Nathan Clinic _94. He said, spent too much money on making them look rich that they forgot to save money for the actors. Also the
Very
jokes
savage.
were the same as every film where someone goes to a foreign place. How many times can we be given the joke of that water is for your hands?
I
not
agree with
drinking?
that one. Yeah.
It was funny in Shrek 2, kind of over it.
I was
Thanks,
gonna make
Nathan
that-
Clinic. That's what our Slicey Slicers thought of.
So
Thanks, Nathan, for
I
taking
was
my
right.
only
There
joke.
was 2 responses to one of our.
Yeah,
what I
okay.
think.
Would you recommend it? And who would you recommend it to? Ken Dog.
I actually think this is kind of a couple film. I don't think I'd really recommend anyone to see this by themselves. I think it might be less enjoyable in that circumstance. Bro, did you see this by yourself?
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, it could be lonely and depressing. So I'm going to recommend to see it.
That was brutal. You're a dick.
So I think, maybe see it with see it as a couple, or
You put on weight, Jordan.
take a partner or a mum
SO.
Or a future partner.
or a future partner.
Maybe this could be a good date.
This could be it, or someone that doesn't know they're going to be a future partner. Just take them to the film and then announce it to them later.
Just whispered to them, don't worry, I'm not this rich.
You're in it forever now.
I agree with Jordan. Unfortunately, I agree. Yeah, this is a good film to see with your SO, or it's like kind of like a good, just like a chill evening significant other.
Soggy ornaments.
Significant other, right? Okay. I was like, SO. What's SO?
SO significant other.
Soggy ornaments. Oh,
Or it's just a good film if you just like just for a good chill evening, because it's like it's very easy to watch. I'd say this.
Take your mum. I think your mum would like this film. I think my mum would love this film.
Yeah, maybe wait to catch it on Netflix if like or other streaming services are available.
Yeah, definitely. I'd agree. I think you don't have to see this in the cinemas. I think you can pass on it in the cinemas, but definitely catch it up on TV on a streaming service or DVD or something, because it was good fun.
I would say there are some moments in this film that on a big screen have a really good wow. Like there's a wedding in this movie, and there's a specific scene where the bride starts walking down the aisle. That looked spectacular to me. I was caught up at the moment. I was chuffed. It was great.
Choking up a bit.
Just chuffed.
Just chuffing up a bit.
I wasn't choking anyone.
Just chuffed up.
Not this time. Not
Chuff
again.
you up. I will say that I was a bit worried at the start of the film. Before the film started, I actually rocked up to the cinema a bit early. So I saw everyone walking in, and the majority of people were 2 females walking in.
I noticed the
two
same
girlfriends
thing.
kind of coming in. And I thought, oh no, I'm in the wrong cinema.
I rocked
I
up
got
a
a bit
little
of
bit
minority.
late.
You're in one of those they're like an all-girl
Like
cinema
flicks-
thing. And
yeah,
you've
like
been-
a flicks with the chicks kind of.
Yeah, and you're just like sitting there like they'll never know.
I rocked up a little bit late, so all the lights were off. So I walked in and I looked up to find a seat, and there was just like a sea of women. And I was like, and I'm like, it's. You wouldn't have expected someone that looks like me to go into this film. So
You
I
do
was like,
have the tendency to look like a bouncer of like a bikers club.
exactly.
It's fantastic.
And I'm completely comfortable with that in every aspect, except for this one, because I walked in and I was like, I have a feeling that I might have just made some woman very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's like, and I walked in and I walked up and I sat and I was just like,
Anyway, back on track. I think this film is a good time. I think we all agree. Let's get into spoilers, shall we?
Yep.
oh, what a cool sound effect, Angus.
This is the spoiler section where we dissect and divulge everything about the film. Let's start with Cinema Dicks.
Yep.
Cinema dick.
Anyone got a dick in their cinema?
I definitely have one.
Absolutely, yep.
Do you have one,
Alright.
Angus?
I No.
Well, you know what they
pretty good.
say, that if you can't find the cinema dick in their cinema, that makes you the cinema
You've got the
dick.
biggest one.
You. Well, in this particular circumstance,
I always find the cinema dick.
in this,
Unfortunately,
in this particular circumstance, probably the only dick in the cinema. But yeah, no, I had a woman behind me take a call for the first 10 minutes of the film in a different language.
It would have been better if she spoke the same language, though, so you could know what it's about.
So-
Maybe she's on the phone being like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm having a heart attack, or something like that, but because it's in
it
another
could be
language,
the
you
chicken.
can't.
She could be in there going, I have a feeling I've walked into a cinema and it's all in English and this is going to be a real problem for me.
Can you please translate the
Yeah,
whole
and then she
movie
just held the
for
phone
me?
to her ear. Yeah, that'd be
That's
great.
amazing.
Brody, you're a cinema dick.
What is with people talking in the cinema? Is what? How did people like?
I don't know, man.
You know what?
I don't know.
Coming from my day today, starts in primary school. We were watching a movie on TV, they talked the whole way through it, and it was
What?
a movie that we grew up watching. It was like Ice Age. And they talked
I rewatched
through,
Ice Age
and
by myself
It's great.
the other day.
But by yourself.
Yeah.
But they talked through all of the best bits, and I was like, shut up, you're missing the greatest. What about the song?
This movie's so quotable, but you can't quote it if you don't... yeah, anyway.
I don't get it. I just don't get it. Like
People that pay to-
and also I completely understand talking through a cinema if you're at the back with some mates.
yeah.
And because it's
Yeah.
like, you're going to take the piss out of the film, you're at the back with some mates. I completely understand that.
Yeah.
Done that before.
I think if you're going
it's
to
fine.
go to a film to make fun of it, though, it's courtesy not to go on the opening day.
Yeah.
If you're going to go to make fun of a
Go
film,
a couple of weeks in.
don't go on the opening day when everyone else there has been waiting for the film or they're reviewing it.
But the people talking to this might surprise you. It was a mother and her son.
Really?
They brought in hot food to the cinema.
Those
which is
scallywags.
another no-no.
Those absolute scallywags.
And they just chatted. They just had a bit of a chat. Just like this.
catching up.
It was like it was so fucking random.
What was
and
the
annoying.
age of the son? Like school?
Like 8 years old, maybe.
What
Yeah,
was the
right.
topic of conversation?
I did not listen in. It was just weird, and like they were sitting like kind of in the middle. It was like a little bit further back, but they were like sitting in the middle of the cinema.
This is why I also think a first date, a movie is a bad decision. Because on a first date, that's when you try to get to know each other. And that's where you try to make decisions about whether there's going to be a second date or not. And if you go to a movie, then your first date is literally you sitting next to a stranger in a... I guess apparently just has a bunch of food next to him. But like if you go on a first date with someone you've never met and your first date is a movie, then your first date is just you and that person sitting in a dark room not talking to each other. Well, that's
So
I
a,
hope
li-
that's
a little
why.
bit of a film slice tip for you. If you're on your first date,
Toad date.
Jordan suggests not going to see a film. He probably suggests like a coffee, getting a bit of a coffee, getting a nice meal you can sit down and have
You know
a chat
what?
with.
Most
Go
of
on
my-
and play mini golf.
No, don't
Date
recommend mini golf.
With
Anything.
Film Slice.
Dating
Something
tips with Jordan, the guy.
From Film Slice.
You know, first date.
No,
I
that
reckon-
was the end.
Oh, okay.
All right, moving on. We've got our positives of the film. Broadman, starting with you. What's your most positive?
I've got to say that I really liked the main actress. I thought she was nice. I want to see her in more stuff. Her name's Constance Wu, and I thought she was pretty cool.
Yeah.
She did a good performance. I thought she delivered any kind of funny lines. Well, she was just nice.
I think she really carried the film as well. Sometimes you get the main characters that you can't really latch onto, but I think she was
Very
quite
charismatic.
relatable. And yeah, charismatic as well. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and I've got another one, but I'll let it go over to you guys first.
K-Dog.
Starting with Jordan.
So I went into this worried that we were going to get nothing but some really stereotypical sort of poking fun at Asian stereotype jokes through the whole film. Mm-hmm. And a bit about me, I guess. A little tidbit about me is
Yeah.
I've been in a similar scenario where I've dated someone from a different culture, and their family have not appreciated my brand of human.
My friend.
My brand of all of me.
Right.
And so I was hoping that I could go into this film and see something that, because I knew the premise going in, and I was like, this might actually be kind of relatable for me. And then I was really worried that it was just going to be really sort of shallow, sort of stereotype-based jokes. So I think my positive is actually just that I'm really relieved that they didn't go for just stereotype jokes through the whole film. Don't get me wrong, there were a lot of poking fun at those types of jokes, but a lot of it was almost in a backward sense. So instead of poking the stereotype joke of everyone's good at maths or something like that, they poked fun at the fact that people think that's a stereotype, which I preferred. So I actually thought this movie did a really good job of making the film about the culture without it being stereotyped. Is what I'm trying to say. That's my biggest positive. Angus.
My biggest positive was the best friend. I thought she was definitely the funniest in the whole film.
She was pretty great.
They referred to her as Asian Ellen, and I thought that was fantastic. And even like her whole family. I forget the actor's name, but Chang from Community.
Yeah.
He's the father.
Ken
Jeong.
Yeah.
Yeah. That whole family, I really enjoyed it, and that humor I could really get behind as well. Yeah, that was my most positive. I think she was. I just wanted to see more of her. I think because she pops up every now and then to give a bit of background information about her family's new rich, but the boy that she's dating, his family's old rich, and then kind of gives this whole backstory so you know it.
Yeah.
But she does it in a way that's like, it's not just, this is the story. It's, she pulls out the jokes and everything. And yeah, I thought she was fantastic. I want to see more of her. I wanted to see more of her in this film, actually.
Hats off for filming in Singapore. Thought that was pretty cool. They actually went to Singapore, filmed a bunch of stuff. I thought that was pretty awesome. It could have looked a bit ordinary if they hadn't have done that.
Yeah.
Really appreciate
It could have
that.
looked very generic. It had its own vibe, like the film, because of where they set it.
Yeah.
It comes off with its own sort of unique look.
Yeah, and I got to say that during the wedding ceremony, when the bride starts to walk down the aisle,
That looks so beautiful.
and it goes pitch quiet as well. It
Yeah.
goes it goes completely silent, and it's just absolutely quiet. That scene was really, really beautiful.
And the walking
And,
through the water scene actually
yeah.
looked, because all of the lights reflect onto the water.
Yeah.
Really beautiful.
When you're walking through the water, in reality,
Really
that would
impractical,
suck.
really loud and,
I
and
was
weird.
also
Yeah.
But very, very, very pretty. Yeah.
So
for the
many-
rest of the day.
So
and-
many people would have to pee after that.
And,
Just
your,
seeing the
and
water.
your dress would be super heavy and damp.
Is it if like it's the age old camp joke that if you put someone's hand in hot water, when they're sleeping they pee. Is it the same with feet? If you put someone's feet in hot water?
I don't need anything to be in hot water.
No, if you do that, they just shit themselves.
I'm just thinking like
They just throw up.
If there's some relatives,
Depending
that
on
are
what body part is, what reaction you
Yeah,
get.
just get random reactions. Yeah, if you manage to get someone's ear and only their ear, then they'll just cry and they'll just continue to cry.
What about the knee?
Oh, the knee, then they just salivate and it just pours out of their mouth.
If you somehow only get their chin, they actually spontaneously combust. They turn inside out.
And if you only get their left buttock, they'll get a nosebleed.
Left or right?
Left buttock.
Their left or your left?
Right buttock
Their
is
left.
right buttock is
Their left
instant.
or your left.
Right buttock is
completely depending on how you're looking at the person.
the other buttock is instant death. So you really want to get that right.
You gotta remember that left is okay.
Left, instant
right,
death.
they might die.
Right.
That's the old mnemonic that you use.
Yeah.
When you're pulling that.
What's that one again?
That'll check. Left is okay. Right, they might die.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good
It's
to know.
very,
We
very
learnt
memorable.
it in school.
It rhymes. It's great.
Yeah. Negatives.
Wait,
What about
negatives.
your least favorite, most negative?
Me first?
Yep, starting
Go for
off
it.
with the
King
George.
Giggity.
I'm not really buying the fact that the two main characters dated for a year before anyone noticed him and the social media thing happened.
Yeah.
Because it was like they'd been a year in and then just someone noticed him in a cafe, but then he was so famous that like they told other people that they know and they were taking pictures and they'd send it. I'm like, I can understand that not being something they notice in a couple of weeks. But if Prince Harry went to Singapore, people would know very quickly still. Like, it's not like he'd date a girl for a year over in... Like Prince Harry goes to Singapore. He's not dating someone for a year before we find out about it. Like,
Yeah.
so I guess my biggest negative was just... it was really weird to be like, we're dating for a year now, and then someone takes a picture, and then all of a sudden everyone finds out. It's like, you would have known like the day. Especially if the mum's got like a private investigator. Don't tell me that she wasn't tracking his every movement for the past year. Like, she seemed like the type to micromanage. She's not paying attention to the things he does for a year.
Yeah.
So I guess my biggest negative was just the that sort of, just that little nitbit immediately started me off with like that doesn't quite make sense. But it worked its way out of that little hole, but it just started on that note, and therefore I sort of went, they haven't put a lot of thought into whether the story makes sense. But
Maybe he just
it picked
wears a
up.
mask.
Yeah,
the whole
maybe.
time.
The other thing was the crazy groomsman, and he was a likable character, but it was just a little too much. The film was
Likeable
relatively...
character. I did not like him at all.
like
the crazy rock star guy.
Like, the comedy was okay, but the film was quite grounded, generally speaking, and his character was just a little too much. It was
that
just,
leads into my least favorite thing.
yeah. All right, I'll
think
stop talking and I'll
It
hand it
also
over.
leads into my least favorite thing.
Oh,
but
right.
Yeah,
Okay.
you
My
go
least
first.
favorite, the party boat
Scene,
and,
which was just with the rocket launcher.
Like it was very strange. Like, it was great, like them like in the helicopters flying out there and everything, because it's kind of like, I guess that entire scene where they go to a party boat, the groomsman and the groom realize like, this is not what we want, so then they leave. That entire scene is very strange. It's
It was a weird, like, I guess it was in the book.
or,
Like, we haven't read the book.
It's
but
like
it
that,
was-
or it's just there to set up of how rich these people are. Because that scene is probably one of the most expensive scenes in this. Because that shot of them pulling up to the boat in helicopters, that didn't look CG to me. If it was CG,
Yeah.
then I'm pretty impressed by that. The helicopters looked a little CG. But if that actual shot of like pulling, like the like kind
Yeah.
of establishing shot of the boat in the ocean, if that's CG, then I'm
I think the
surprised.
CG part would be the helicopter randomly parked on a rock.
I was gonna say. Yeah.
That was
I was
weird.
like-
That was totally
I was
really
like-
bad CG.
I was like,
then it cuts
no
to-
one's doing that.
yeah.
And then it cuts to him going, well, I guess I did use my pilot's license for something.
What would have been much,
Yeah,
what would have been a much better start to that is you see the helicopter and then it zooms out on the rock and then it zooms out. They're both looking at it and one guy just goes, "Good park," and it's just that.
I love how
It's-
Aussie these
they don't-
these people are.
Nice park.
They don't say anything, they
Oh,
just fist bump.
Nice park, mate.
Nice park.
Bloody good park there, mate.
Zooms out even further, he's actually got a full park.
They're just in Australia. They just zoomed out fully. They're just in Australia. Yeah, so yeah, I just felt that the entire scene was very weird. It didn't really go anywhere with me. If all they wanted to do was get the groom and the groomsman alone somewhere, then they could have done it in probably a better way, or not such a ridiculous way. And they could have everything that happened on that party barge could have happened somewhere else.
Yeah.
And it was also just a little bit too much for me, because there was like 80 naked women almost, and like kind of like strippers and stuff, and it was like, yeah, it's a bachelor party, but and also it was just a bit too much.
Yeah.
It just
there
made
was
me
a
feel
rocket launcher.
and also being like one of 3 guys in the cinema, everyone else being female, I was just like, yeah, I don't. This made me feel
It
uncomfortable.
makes
Yeah.
you feel uncomfortable because, like, you sort of worry the girls watching the scene being like, "Men are pigs," and you're like the only man there being like, "I actually hate this scene."
Yeah, yeah.
My most negative thing about the film was, I think, the fact that it didn't quite live up to the hype of the word crazy. I would have liked to have seen it get a bit more out of hand. Like, there are a few little tidbits here and there. Like, I mean, the boat, even though it was a bit too much, that's the kind of crazy that I was expecting.
No.
Whereas for the majority of this film, it's pretty much
Strict rich Asians.
it's like there's nothing
Regimented.
there's nothing absolutely outrageous happening, or
Yeah.
at least to my point
Yeah,
of
I
view.
was
There's
expecting
not
like a Camino scene where everyone's like got houses in the middle of the ocean or something.
Or just one of those things where, like, yeah, everybody has their own mansion on an island and they get picked
Or like
up
a
in...
Tony Stark house on the edge
yeah,
of a
they
cliff.
get picked up in Ferraris and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah, I
there
just-
was-
all of the Ferrari stuff, that was all in there.
Yeah, but, like, it was only in...
like, the Audis
It was only
and stuff.
sometimes... I think the problem is the main character and the best friend that was getting married were both really down-to-earth, grounded characters, which I liked, but at the same time, as a result, they didn't act crazy rich, and the film largely followed them. So as
Yeah,
a result,
yeah.
you're sort of like... It would have been great if the main character was down to earth, and the groom was a nice bloke, but he was still crazy rich.
Yeah.
Instead of because they picked him up and they just like, they had a small sort of convertible car and they went out to Chinese. Would have been great if when they got off the plane, straight away, the best friend and his fiance.
Also, I don't think they
Take him
went out
somewhere
for Chinese. I think I just went and got dinner.
Yeah, but like it would have been crazy.
I think it's a different chestnut.
Oh, right. Yeah, but
It's like, I think if you're in Singapore, you're not going out. It's like, yeah.
speaking of that, bro, later, do you want to go out and get Australian?
Yeah, sure.
I would say that the actress that played the mother,
Yep.
the mother that's throughout the majority of the film, the male's mother.
Great
I think
actress.
she did a great job of playing sort of stern and respectable, but also sort of really passive aggressive and bitchy when she had to.
Yeah.
But also doing a great job of showing her reasoning behind like her decisions. I think she did a great job of also always looking like she's not like she's always looking like she understands and she can comprehend the consequences to her actions. But you believe that she believes that what she's doing justifies that.
Yeah. I wouldn't have minded a bit more juxtaposition, I guess. At the start of the film, you see the mother, the young mother, come into the hotel, and she was getting kicked out, obviously because of her race. And that was kind of like, that was a very heavy start to the film, but it had the message right there in big, bold capital letters. And what I didn't see throughout the rest of the film was that juxtaposition between now she's in that position, what she gonna do with that power kind of thing, and all of that. Like, I didn't really see a lot of difference. And I guess going back to my other negative where they weren't really, I didn't really get the sense that they were crazy rich, like they had too much money that they knew what to do. Like, when I think of crazy rich, I think of like the Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
Like crazy rich kind of thing.
Or one of these like party boy bachelor. Kind of people.
That kind of stuff. But like, even though they were,
Where you can just like buy a Ferrari and then give it to the valet because you could buy one any day.
Like
of the week,
Bruce
kind of.
Wayne in the Batman films where he's playing that sort of character.
Yeah.
like Playboy kind of style.
God, we should just do can we just review Batman?
Well, nah, it's a shit film.
I'm leaving.
No, I would have
On your bike?
I would have liked to see.
I can't afford a car. I just have a push bike. I push bike to and from work.
I would have liked. I just would have liked to have seen something that kind of put into perspective how rich they were. So even if we saw maybe a poor family, or like when they went and got street food or something, maybe they saw a beggar.
I also really liked the story with the auntie who's splitting up with her husband now.
That was
Like,
I
the
wish that
husband's
was
cheating.
more fleshed out because that was a really interesting sort of
It was really two very likable characters.
Yeah.
and
and two relatable positions.
yeah,
I think that's what
and like
Sophie
I
was talking
I
about in
understood
the-
what they
Yeah.
both like meant and why they did everything. Like, even though I don't agree with the things they did, I still understand how they got there.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah,
And I
like,
thought it was really
his-
interesting that they went through the whole like every stage they went through, and that they like ended up being
It's really
apart.
both sides of that were really like her side was I don't want to have to hide that I'm rich so that you can feel good about like I don't want to have to hide who I am so you feel good about yourself. And his side was basically I need to know that you care about more than your money. Like I need to know
And
that
it's like-
you care about
it's like-
me. And it was sort of
It's like you're hiding because of you, not because of me, and it makes
Yeah.
me feel even worse.
yeah, and,
And so,
it was,
and so it was like they both had good intentions. It's like
yeah.
I thought that was
it
a really good relationship, and I would be interested to see.
You could
more.
make
Yeah.
a good story out of that in itself. If
So I
you
think
fleshed it out a
A
bit.
general consensus about this movie is it was good, but we would have liked to have seen a bit
Some things
more,
probably could
a
be
few more
removed
aspects, yeah.
for the sake of better storytelling in certain areas. I think. Yeah.
Cane Dogs, have you got anything to finish?
Man, I
off this
tried,
episode?
and I couldn't think of a single thing that didn't feel racially insensitive.
Well, maybe we could focus on the rich or the crazy part.
I
rather than
tried
the
that as
Asian
well,
part.
but none of us are rich, and we're all crazy.
Well, if you had that much money,
Okay.
and like what like a lot of the stuff that was focused on that was the most expensive stuff was cars, where they lived, where like the wedding, and then like the bachelor party, basically, right?
Let's do a bachelor party for each of us.
Oh,
We're gonna plan a
well,
bachelor party for each of us,
realistically, we'll be
and
planning each
money-
other's bachelor party anyway.
Money is not an option, though.
Yeah, realistically, John will plan Angus's bachelor party. Angus will plan Jordan's bachelor party,
And Nathan will plan
I'll-
yours.
I'll show up.
Well, Nathan will probably plan yours.
No, fair enough.
All right.
Okay,
Angus-
who's getting married first?
Jordan.
Okay,
Alright.
Cane Dogs.
Okay.
Cane Dogs is getting married first. We're gonna take him out on the town.
You've already terrible mistake. I hate people.
He doesn't like. Okay, yeah, no. Okay, he doesn't like drinking, so it's gonna be a sober.
Gourmet burgers
Gourmet-
at an expensive pool bar.
No.
In the city.
Gourmet Palmers.
Oh, gourmet parma.
oh.
Gourmet.
I'm sold on that.
Jordan's
Bachelor
face is
party.
lighting up.
What's brilliant is there's a part like the pub in our town in Gizzy does like 3 different types of palmers.
That's where we're
I'm
going.
happy with that.
That's where we're going.
Party at the Gisborne pub.
Crazy rich Jordan.
But thank you for listening to the Film Slice podcast. You can reach us on Instagram at Film Slice Pod. You can reach us on Twitter at film_slice_pod. You can reach us on Facebook. You can listen to us on iTunes. You can listen to us on SoundCloud. And all of that jazz. Thank you for listening. If you've gotten this far, you're bloody legends. But don't
Ledger.
tell anyone else.
You're
You're all my
crazy
fa-
rich and possibly Asian.
You're